students, so we continue with total count and differential count. So what you're supposed to do is, ideally you're supposed to, this is all it comes under clinical pathology. You're supposed to write it in your records, okay, once you get your records, right? So after the red cell indices, next topic is total count and differential count. What is total count? It is nothing but it is the total WBC count. Okay, earlier we had that means in physiology you would have learned, right, with the help of a Newbar chamber, basically you're counting the total number of WBCs which is present, right? So there are two methods. You had the typical visual method, which we use the Newbar chamber, and then now you have the latest one, which is the automated machine is doing the work for you. Okay, so these things actually it's obsolete now. We're not doing the literal counting, and it's time consuming. So we have moved on to a sophisticated fast world, right? So we also need to be fast. So for that, but at least you should know that initially we had a Newbar chamber. There was 2 types of pipettes. There were some diluting fluids used for it, all those things, right? Because viva purpose you will need to know it. So this is the Newbar counting chamber, an improvised Newbar counting chamber, okay, wherein you are diluting the fluid, and then can you see that edge shape? At the edge you put a cover slip, and at the edge you put a drop of blood with the diluting fluid, okay. And then you ideally you're counting the there are actually periphery you have used for WBCs, and at the center you use for RBCs, okay. This is the grid which you see under the microscope, okay. This is for WBCs, this is for RBCs, the center grid which I told you, okay. And you're supposed to ideally count the RBCs which is present in this way, okay, 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, like that you're supposed to count. Suppose you're taking a small block on the right hand side, extreme right, you will count how many RBCs are present in that particular grid, okay. Like that you keep counting. So there are 2 types of pipettes. One is you have for RBCs, you have RBC and RBC pipette, and then for WBC you have WBC pipette. The differences between RBC pipette and WBC pipette is a favorite viva question, and you need to know them, okay. So RBC, from the name itself, RBC pipette is what? It has a red bead, and WBC pipette has a white bead, okay. And the width, okay, that means the RBC pipette has a bigger bulb and WBC pipette has a smaller one. The diluting fluid used for RBC is Hames fluid, and for WBC it is Turk's fluid, okay. Then for RBCs you require a more dilution, so it is diluted around 1 per 200, 1 for 200 RBCs, and for WBC it is 1 for 20, okay. And then what are the uses of an RBC pipette? Basically that is for RBC count, and WBC pipette can be used for WBC count, for sperm count, okay. RBC count can also be used for platelet count also, okay. So what is the it can carry, the pipette can carry around 20 microns of fluid, okay. Now an important and favorite viva question: what is the use of this bead? Why are there beads in it? One is for identification, that means a red bead you see, it's for RBC pipette, the white bead is for the WBC pipette. Then it is also used for mixing, okay. So you can actually mix the blood sample with the diluting fluid so that it does not get clogged, okay, right? So this is the RBC pipette and this is the WBC pipette. Markings are also important. For RBC pipette it is 0.5, 1 and 101, whereas for WBC it is 0.1, 1 and 11, okay. So that is the difference. From here itself you can differentiate. RBC pipette has a bigger bulb compared to the WBC pipette, okay. So this is an important viva question, both for practicals, okay. You definitely need to know, and also for instruments. Later in your further sessions you will be asked instruments, to identify instruments. So usual your seniors have all picked up the same thing, it's easy for them, so they do the same. Okay, they both of them, they take it and they tell us the differences. So we expecting the same from you also. You should know them, okay, whatever it is. Now what are the diluting fluids? Okay, for RBCs it is Haynes fluid, for WBC it is Turk's fluid, for eosinophils it is Engelmann solution. Okay, so suppose you excel in your viva, the next question is this, to give you an upgradation. Okay, what is the solution used for eosinophils? It is Engelmann's solution. And for platelets it is along with the citrate solution, you add 1 or 2 drops of brilliant tresile blue. Okay, clear? This calculation was done earlier, but now it is not done anymore. Okay, now coming to the total count per se. Why do we have to determine total count? Basically to find out whether the WBC count is within the normal limits or not. Okay, and we used to use earlier it was Neubar chamber with the WBC pipette, then you required a diluting fluid which was Turk's fluid. Now what are the constituents of Turk's fluid? This is very important for you. It is glacial acetic acid, gentian violet and distilled water. Okay, what is the use of glacial acetic acid? Remember like that. So it is lysis of RBCs. Okay, and gentian violet is mainly used for staining of the nucleus. Okay, distilled water, it acts as a mordant, just a medium. Okay, what is the proportion? Acetic acid is 1.5 ml, stain is 1 ml and distilled water is 100 ml. Right? Yeah, same thing. So what is the procedure? First you take anticoagulated blood that comes in the vacutainer up to the 0.5 mark. Okay, then you drop diluting fluid up to 11 and then you mix the pipette well. Okay, it's basically you mix it and then wait for some time and then you slowly charge the Neubar. Right? So this was a calculation which was used earlier. If you're interested, you can go ahead. Nobody is stopping you. Okay, now what are the normal values of WBC count? It is between 4,000 to 10,000 per cubic millimeter. In newborn it is definitely more, so you can range it from 10 to 12,000. Right? Now this is very important for you. How will you label it? Okay, now that you know the normal WBC count is between 4,000 to 11,000, right? So anything less than 4,000 you can label it as leukopenia. Okay, anything above that is called as, above 11,000 you can label it as leukocytosis. So you should know the important causes. In the theory class I've dealt with all these things, right? So leukocytosis, mostly you should define it as physiological and pathological causes. Physiological, it is usually in cases of newborn. Pathological can be bacterial infection or any form of leukemia. And causes for leukopenia, most common causes is viral infection. Okay, any form of viral infection, or it can be in cases of malaria or certain medications which will reduce the WBC count, especially when you're taking chemotherapeutic agents. Okay, next going to the differential count. So differential count is usually expressed in percentage, right? Basically you are counting the WBCs. Here this is important for you. Here we use a peripheral smear to do a differential count. Okay, peripheral smear we'll be taking in detail that class for you also. So you prepare a smear, that is you spread a peripheral smear and then you stain it, and at the end you count the number of cells. Okay, so this is the counting. This is actually our piano for pathologist. Okay, this is a counting chamber wherein you're counting the number of cells. Suppose you're finding 2 lymphocytes, where you have lymphocytes, you press 2 like that. Okay, so there's a peripheral smear wherein you can see all the different types of WBCs. Okay, in detail this we have dealt with in theory class, so I'm not going into it. Okay, now what are the methods? Okay, so basically there is a zigzag method. You go in a zigzag pattern. You go forward, then you and then lengthwise you go down, and then you go to the side. That's how it goes, in a zigzag manner. Okay, that is called as a battleman, or there is another method called as battleman method to count the WBCs. So this is your zigzag pattern. Okay, you go up, then you go down, then you go to the side, then you go lengthwise, and then to the side, then again you come down. So this is the routine method which we all apply. So how will you detect this is the normal WBC count? It is usually expressed in percentage. So you start off with neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils and basophils. It's easy to remember that. PLMEB. Okay, that's how it is. PLMEB, or neutrophils. 40 to 70, 20 to 40, 2 to 10, 1 to 6 and less than 1. Okay, this is the normal differential count. Okay, so there we finish our total count and differential count. These two are very important for you. You should know them. You should know the causes. If you have neutrophilia, what are the causes for neutrophilia? What are the causes for neutropenia, lymphocytosis, lymphopenia, monocytosis, eosinophilia, basophilia? Okay, they should be at your fingertips. You should know them. The differential count, what is the normal count for each WBC, what is the normal total count, all these things are important for you. Definitely you will encounter this in your future life, as well as for Viva. This is important, very very important. Okay, so hope this is informative for you. Here I end my class. Thank you.